Good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It's Facebook, I'm David Shepherd, and it's 7 p.m. or 1900 UTC here in London, so it must be Facebook Live. So welcome, and this evening, this is 2018 episode 3. As I promised right at the start of the year, this Facebook Lives this year would be about the integration of NLP, hypnosis, timeline therapy, mental and emotional release, and Huna into our everyday life. And I'm teaching Huna this weekend, this Saturday and Sunday, Introduction to Huna, in Knightsbridge in London. If you want to join us, there's still room available, there's still space available in the room, so please contact us tomorrow if you want to go ahead and do that training. Now, in that training, I teach a very, very powerful yet very beautiful process called Ho'o Pono Pono. So this evening, what I wanted to do, not to do Ho'o Pono Pono with you during a Facebook Live, that wouldn't really work that well, but really to explain what it is, why you want to do it, how it works, and some of the major concepts behind this process called Ho'o Pono Pono. So firstly, let's look at it from a linguistics point of view. And what we have is Ho'o Pono Pono. Now, Ho'o in Hawaiian means to make, and Pono means right. And whenever we have a word multiplied a number of times, then it means multiple, not just twice, more than twice probably, it means very right. So Ho'o Pono Pono means to make right, to make very right. To make right what? To make right all of our relationships with everybody and everything for all time, for our entire past. Everybody we've had a relationship with in our entire life. Whether they're still around with us or not, whether we're still in connection with them or not, then to make those relationships right. It's a very powerful process, a very beautiful process, and it's very, very easy to do. So there's a number of concepts really that we need to look at here. Firstly, I would say that the Ho'o Pono Pono that we teach in the lineage that I'm a Kumu in is not the Ho'opono prayer that you've heard probably about from Joe Vitale. I believe Tony Robbins has started using it too. That is not what we're talking about here. Just a little bit of a history that all Ho'opono Ponos in the modern day really have been disseminated by Moina Simeone. Moina Simeone trained Hugh Len. You may have heard of Hugh Len. Hugh Len was the psychiatrist in Honolulu. We did Ho'o Pono Pono with everybody, all the people in his psychiatric ward, and within a month they'd all left because they'd all become well. And then Hugh Len then got together with Joe Vitale, and they thought that people that weren't Hawaiian wouldn't understand the concept of aloha. So what they did was they simplified it. They did the I'm thank you, I love you, do you love me, etc. And that wasn't there in the original process. So this is the Ho'o Pono Pono that we teach in the Huna lineage that I'm a Kumu in, which goes back at least 50 generations. So there's a number of concepts really that I want to share with you as to what makes Ho'o Pono Pono work. The first is that there is a part of us, inside of us, which is everybody we've ever met and everybody that we've ever even thought of. So, for instance, I could go inside of me and find the part of me that's my dad. I can have a conversation with the part of me that's my dad. And even though my dad died 30 or more years ago, he would still respond to me in the way that he would do if he were here. I could go inside and find the part of me that's my mum, and even though my mum's up in Nottingham at this particular point in time, maybe even watching this Facebook Live, I can go inside and find the part of me that's my mum, and even though she's not physically here, the part of me that's my mum would respond in exactly the way that she would do if she was here. But equally, you know, I could go and find the part of me inside that's Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, and he would respond exactly the way that he would be if he was here. So we have a part of us inside, which is everybody that we've ever met, and even everybody we've even thought of conceptually. And if we think from a perceptionist projection point of view, then the part of us inside is the slide in the projector. So our part, our internal representation, if you like, from an NLP point of view, of another person is what we project onto that person when we're around. So essentially that person can be no better or worse than our internal representation of them when they're around us. We don't know what they're like when they're not around us. What we do is we just project what's inside of us on them. So therefore, Ho'o Pono Pono is one of the most powerful processes that I know to enable us to change our projection on other people and therefore our perception of those people. Just to give you the kind of like the full what I mean by that, a couple of stories, a couple of experiences that I had over the 25 years I've been using and teaching and practicing Ho'o Pono Pono personally. I had somebody work for me, I won't mention the name, and she worked for me part-time. She came in one day and I could tell from her physiology that she wasn't in a great state. So I said, "Right, you know, what's up?" She said, "Well, you know, I've never really told you this. I have a sister, and my sister's clinically depressed, suicidal, into self-harming, and she's in hospital at the moment. I know if she was to work with you as one of your private clients, she could really change that, but she's just not interested. And so I feel a bit frustrated and I feel a bit powerless." So I said to this member of staff, I said, "You know, I'm going to say something to you which would be seen as being rather non-PC, probably rather controversial. I think I've been a little bit controversial this week on Facebook, so hopefully the video will stay up." And I said, "You know, you actually have no idea what your sister's like at this particular point in time in her hospital room whilst you're in my office. You know, I'm going to say something and there's no proof, you've got no proof that what I'm saying isn't true. Your sister at this point in time could be going, life's so great, 3 meals a day, stay in bed, after work, watch TV. And, you know, and then when you arrive at visiting hour in the evening, 7 o'clock or whatever time it is, you know, you walk through the door and she's immediately, I'm depressed. I'm on to self-harm, I want to kill myself. And, you know, I said, and then you're with her for an hour and then you leave, and as soon as the door closes, she goes, life's so great, even my sister believes me. And I said, you know, that's a controversial point of view. I understand that. And though it is a point of view of, you know, our reality. We create our reality. We don't know what people are like when we're not around them. You know, they could be completely different. Which is why we get, you know, have you ever had a situation where somebody tells you about somebody that you know and you go, that doesn't sound like them at all. I can't even believe it's the same person. I think we've all had that. That's the power of projection. So I said to this employee of mine, I said, you know, if you were to go inside now and find the part of you inside that's your sister, is she totally healed, whole and magnificent? She goes, no, she's depressed, she's in hospital, she's into cutting herself and burning herself and attempting to commit suicide. And I said, well, your sister can be no better or worse than your part, your internal representation of her when she's around you. The only thing that you can take 100% responsibility for, the only thing that you can truly change is your projection, your internal representation when you think of the part of you that's your sister. You know Ho'o Pono Pono, go and do the process and see what happens. And at least your frustration will disappear. Your powerlessness will have disappeared because you'll have done everything that you possibly can within your own power to sort it out. And as I say, she worked for me part-time. She came in a couple of days later. I could see that she's in a very, very different state. And I said, well, that looks better. What's going on? She said, well, I did what you said. I healed up the part of me inside that's my sister. So now when I access the part of me inside that's my sister, she's totally healed, whole and magnificent. And so I went to the hospital last night, and the first thing that my sister did was she gave me a hug and she told me that she loved me, which is the first time she's done that in years. And before I left, she said, I think I want to work with that Dave Shepherd guy. Will you give me his number? And I expect a call. Well, I did get a call, and I did work with Jay's sister, successfully using NLP and talent therapy, mental emotional release, and hypnosis and Huna. She let go of her depression, she let go of her need to self-harm, she let go of her whatever was inside of her that drove her to commit suicide. And within a very short period of time, matter of months, she was off the antidepressants, she got a new home, she got a new job, she got a new boyfriend, recreated her life totally. And I often ponder about that even now, even though it's probably 15, maybe more years ago than that. Did Jay doing Ho'o Pono Pono heal up her sister? And of course, in Jay's universe, in her model of the world, then the answer to that would be yes. So Ho'o Pono Pono is a very, very powerful process. I mean, here's another example, personal one for me. In fact, I'll give you two personal examples. One is, I got another person who worked for me, and I could tell there was a bit of friction between me and him. And it wasn't getting dealt with, it was getting worse. And I went home one night and I thought, right, tomorrow I'm going to sort this out. I'm going to have the 5 minutes of uncomfortableness to get to the other side of this, because it's not working for me, it's probably not working for him, it's not working for the business as a whole. But I thought, right, but before I do that, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to do Ho'o Pono Pono with him. And I did the process with him, brought up the part of him inside of me, and healed him up inside of me, and also got forgiveness both ways, and a real sense of true aloha, which we loosely transmit to love, but it's more than that. We can probably do an entire Facebook Live just on the deeper teachings of aloha. And I did that and completed the process, went to sleep, and went in the next day, and I said to him, come into my office, we need to have a chat. And I said, look, I'm sensing there's something not right between us. It's not working for me, it's probably not working for you, and it's not working for the business. So let's just get this sorted. And he said to me, you're right, I wasn't okay with you. But he said, I was thinking about it last night, and as I was thinking about it last night, something shifted and it became okay. So we don't need to talk about it. I'm totally okay with you now if you're okay with me. And I said, I'm fine with you. And so we were done, and I said to him, just out of curiosity, what time last night were you thinking about it, and when did you become okay with it? He said, well, I don't know, about 9 o'clock. And that was exactly the time that I was doing Ho'o Pono Pono with him at home the night before. So, the whole thing is, if you've got a conflict with somebody else, the conflict's inside of us, and if we haven't healed it up inside of us, we can't heal it up outside of us, which is why this is such a wonderful, 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 and very, very powerful process. So that's the first concept that we've got for Ho'o Pono Pono, is we carry around inside of us a part of us that's everybody that we've ever met, everyone that we've ever even thought of, even everyone we've ever come across. Even if I think, back, I just want to get a new phone today, the guy in the phone shop, I can go inside and access the part of me that's now the guy in the phone shop, even though I didn't even know that he existed before around about 3 o'clock this afternoon, So, think about that. Think about the people in your life that you have conflict with, people in your life that you're not pono with, people in your life that you don't perceive as being totally healed, whole, and magnificent. Then access the part of you inside that's them, and then you could do the Ho'o Pono Pono process with them to shift the dynamic. So the first concept is the concept of parts inside. And that's loosely translated to the parts we talk about in NLP. Not quite exactly the same, but loosely translated. Now, then the next concept that we have in Ho'o Pono Pono, in Huna, is that we are all connected. energetically through mana, which is life force energy. And we are connected with the means of arca cords, which are like pipes, energetic cables, if you like. So we are connected with everybody that we've ever met and everybody that we've ever thought of through an arca connection by the flow of mana. Now, I would say it's good to be connected with people. I love being connected with people. But always got to look at, is the connection that we have with people, is it functional and is it empowering for us personally? So let's think about, I think we've all experienced this because, your energy flows where your attention goes. So as soon as you give your attention to somebody, your energy flows to them via arca. Here's an experience I'm sure all of you have had. You're in a crowded place, you get that kind of funky feeling that somebody's staring at you, and you turn around, you look into the crowd, and you look totally immediately at the person who's looking at you. How did you know where they were? Well, energy flows where your attention goes. They were putting their attention on you. Their energy, their mana was flowing through the arca connection. Your unconscious mind is the mind which is aware of energy, even if you're not aware consciously. And your unconscious mind alerts you, gives you that strange sensation. You turn around, your unconscious mind knows where the other end of that arca pipe is. It's also, you think of somebody and the phone rings, and it's them. Or the phone rings, and before you've even answered it, you know who it is. That's arca. The person thinks of you before they phone you, even if they're on the other side of the planet. That energy flows through the arca connection, alerts your unconscious mind. The part of you inside that's them becomes your internal representation. You're thinking about them, you think about them, you pick up the phone, it's them. So that's the kind of universal experiences we've all had of that. And that's good. Now, let's talk about where it might not be good. I think we've probably all had this experience. Have you ever been around somebody that maybe your experience is that they draw your energy, that they suck your energy, that they take your energy away from you? There's two things around that. Firstly, energy flows from high energy to low energy. So if you've got high energy and you're with somebody with low energy, it's almost like siphoning from one jar to a lower jar. The energy, the mana will flow from you to the other person. And though, if we think about cause and effect, if you let them, they're not taking your energy, you're giving them your energy. Now, the kind of experiences you might have had with that is, you go and see somebody and you go, oh God, my energy's being drained. And you go, right, I'm going to have to go now. And they're going, when are you going to come and see me again? You go, I'm not sure. I need to have a bit of a rest. Because all of your energy's gone to them and you've boosted them up. So Ho'o Pono Pono enables us to manage our energy and maintain the integrity of our energy vessel, or what some people might call our aura or our chi ball. It enables us to take control of that, which is great, to put ourselves on the core side of the equation. Now the other is, so there's the amount of energy, so you might experience your energy flowing from somebody lower energy, but also there's potential, but also there's the frequency of the energy. And the frequency of the energy is very much around, like high frequency feels good, low frequency feels bad. I think we've all been around people where you go, oh, blimey, I feel like I've been slimed, I need to go have an energy shower or bath or whatever it is. That person's sending me funky vibes or funky energy. Well, again, put ourselves on the core side of the equation. Actually, they are sending it out, but you have to take it. So what Ho'o Pono Pono enables you to do is not only give your energy to people you don't want to give it to, it also enables you to stop taking energy from people that you don't want to take it from. So those are two major concepts that are there within Ho'o Pono Pono. So what we can use this for is to heal up our relationships with everybody and everything from all the people we've ever met. And I said everything there, let's just talk about that. So I was doing a Huna seminar, and there was a lady there about to do Ho'o Pono Pono. She said, can I do this process with my house? And I said, sure, you can do it with anything. I said, but why would you want to do that with your house? She said, well, I want to sell my house. It's been on the market for a year. We've had a lot of people come and view the house. They all say they absolutely love it, but we've had no offers. And I said, well, you know, yeah, that could be it. It could be that people come around, they love the house, but in their perspective, because you're connected to it, it's your home, so they can't imagine or perceive it as being there, so therefore they don't give an offer. I said, great, do it with your house. And so she did. And we got a phone call the next week, and she said, I can't believe this. We've had an offer on the house, I've accepted it, and we're going for exchange of contracts. Brilliant. So I gave her an example on a later Huna training, and this guy came up to me in the break just after we'd done Ho'o Pono Pono. He goes, I can't believe this, there's another story for you. He said, I got a property that I wanted to rent. And it's been on the market for ages, lots of people have been viewing it, and nobody wanted to rent it. So when he said that story about the lady who wanted to sell her house, he said, I thought, right, I'm going to do Ho'o Pono Pono with my property. And he did. And he said, and I switched my phone off whilst I was doing the process, obviously. And he said, now we're having a break, I switched my phone on. I got 5 calls from the estate agent whilst we were doing the process, because an offer's come in, and during the break I've just accepted it, the place is rented. So, you know, I did promise, and this is really important to me, that the stuff that we will cover in Facebook Lives are things that we can use from NLP, from timeline therapy, from mental emotion release, from hypnosis, from Huna, that we can use on a real life, day-to-day basis, real tangible physical results. Because I think that's where these things are meant to be, you know, particularly Huna. Huna isn't just something that you do twice a year in Hawaii. It's something that you would do as part of, it would be just part of your life. It would be your day-to-day practice. And I think that's how I really want to work with you over the next year to integrate these concepts, these principles, these techniques into our lives every day, every week, every month of the year. And over, you know, let's say we do 50 Facebook Lives, you're on number 3 at the moment, that can totally 100% transform our lives. Now, to put this Ho'o Pono Pono into a different perspective, you know, Gandhi, I think, was the person who said, be the change you want to see in the world. But he didn't explain how to do it, or why, in fact, it would work. This is why it would work, and this is how it works. So let me give you the steps to the process. They're very simple. You create a stage in your mind which you're looking down upon, and it's in front of you, as if you're in the gods in the theatre. You invite people onto the stage that you want to do the process with. You flow. Love and light. Infinite source of love and healing right above the top of your head, which flow into your body, flow out of your heart into the people on the stage until they appear to be totally healed, whole, and magnificent. You get forgiveness with a sense of aloha. Now, if people are interested in aloha, then I'll talk more about the deeper meanings of the meaning of aloha. Maybe I'll do that from a Facebook Live in Hawaii when I'm there in March. Yeah, let's do that. That would be really appropriate and really quite fun. And then dissolve the connection. That's the entire process. And it's very simple. You just create a stage in your mind, in front of you, below you. You imagine an infinite source of love and healing right above the top of your head. It descends through the top of your head into your body now, overflowing out of your heart to the people on the stage. So then your perception, they become totally healed, whole, and magnificent. You then get a sense of forgiveness both ways. You forgive them, they forgive you. If you need to have an internal dialogue with them, maybe they need to say things to you, you need to say things to them. Do that until you can get done, until you can get clear forgiveness. With a sense of aloha, with a sense of kind of like a universal love as far as that's concerned, a rightfulness. And then imagine how you connected with Arca, and then dissolve the connections. And then once you've dissolved the connections, you can imagine them floating off the stage and disappearing back into the light, which is where, from a Huna perspective, we all came from. So that's the process. I did do last year I did a Facebook Live, and we did Ho'o Pono Pono for, I think what happened in Paris, I think it was, last year. So there is that process there. That's a very specific process. There is the overall process itself with a lot more theory about what I've talked about this evening is available in my app, the I'm David Shepherd app. It's a 2 CD set. You'll find it under Huna in there, under Ho'o Pono Pono. First CD is the theory. It's about an hour's theory, so more detail than I've gone through here. And then the second CD is the actual process of doing Ho'o Pono Pono with everybody and everything. So if you want to get that, if you want to listen to that, if you've already got the app, then it's under Huna, Ho'o Pono Pono. If you haven't got the app already, then if you go to davidshepherd.com, and just make sure that you've got my name spelled correctly. Whoops. If you go to David and Shepherd, hard.com, and you'll find the app. You can use it for a month for free, and then after that it's as little as, I think, £5.80 a month. After that Ho'o Pono Pono is just one of hundreds of hours of audios and videos on NLP and hypnosis, timeline therapy, mental emotional release, and Huna that's available in there. So thanks for joining me. It's great. I love doing our Facebook Lives, and I shall see you here, same time, same place, next Thursday. Take care and have a fantastic week.